It's quite straightforward. With respect, I don't think you're looking at this from the right point of view, Mrs. Skilbeck.
But what other point of view can I take? Matt didn't kill him.
Indeed, but the prosecution is going to present the judge and jury with all kinds of evidence. There are motives galore in this, Mrs. Skilbeck.
What's that got to do with it?
Dolly.
Nobody liked him. He was a troublemaker. He picked fights with virtually everybody in the village. I mean, Jack next door, he said it could just as easily have been him.
It wasn't him, Mrs. Skilbeck. It was your husband.
He's right, Dolly.
How can you say he's right? You didn't do it. Well, how do you know it was deliberate? For all you know, he could have died of a heart attack.
Mrs. Skilbeck, please, this is getting ridiculous. I would hardly have come this far if I hadn't read the pathologist's report.
Yeah, all right, Dolly.
Now, as things stand now, I'm afraid the situation doesn't look too promising.
Matt were defending himself. Surely they'll understand that.
There is evidence to suggest rather more than that, Mrs. Skilbeck. Now, what we must beware of is refusing to accept any responsibility whatsoever for what happened. You must understand, in a court of law, that's a very dangerous thing to do.
I don't see why.
Because the prosecution will have their arguments, and some of them are bound to be valid. If they weren't, Matt wouldn't have been arrested in the first place. Now, unless you're prepared to believe that, Mrs. Skilbeck, the judge and jury will, and it is their sympathy we want. Now, obviously, we have arguments on our side, they have arguments on theirs. What I'm trying to suggest is we try and reach some form of compromise.
Well, what sort of compromise?
Well, I don't think the prosecution can be happy with the charge of murder either. For them to make that stick, they've got to knock down every one of our arguments. That's why I think they might be open to negotiation.
What do you mean, then?
I mean there's a chance for a very lenient sentence, even a conditional one, if you were to plead guilty to manslaughter.
Matt, no.